Hey bro, how are you bro? Alright. So here's us climbing the castle. Shall we do it like the Dutch? Go back? The VOC were scaling these forts, they put in ladders at night when everybody was asleep. And so it begins, man. The great adventure. Where's the cabby? Boy, I tell you what, so it's 10:30 and the flight departs at 1 after midnight. I don't know why the Indonesians do that, man. I mean, it's... let me finish with the check-in and I'll tell you more about this flight. So here's the deal. I'm flying from Jakarta to Ternate. Now I know what you're going to say. I mean, the VOC went with ships there. Well, I cannot go with ship. There is no time for that. All the flights that go to those islands, I remember it from 3 years ago when I visited the Raja Ampat. I couldn't believe that all those flights depart after midnight. It's amazing. And not only that, but you get an extra 3 hour plus. There is a time difference, you know, Indonesia is massive. So I'm waiting for this flight in despair. I already don't sleep much. Anyway, so I will see you in the morning. Wish me a good flight. Bye-bye. How are we doing, people? Good morning. 3 hours flight, man. Impossible to sleep. And I had this woman next to me who was constantly coughing. Anyway, look at us. Loving Ternate here. So Ternate is the gateway to our pilgrimage to the people of these islands to remember their story, you know? But first, we need to find a place to stay. I already stopped at a hotel here nearby, and they were full. That was something I did not expect. This is the third school that I encounter with all this music and dancing. Boy, I tell you, this sound, man. Anyway, so I did manage to sleep a little bit, which is good, till that happened. Okay, let's go. How on earth did we miss this mosque detail? I cannot believe it. The vicinity is the issue. It's literally behind that hotel there. Just look at this thing, man. Hi, mister. Hello. Look at this. Argentina. And then Netherlands. What's going on? Hi, mister. Holland. And a broken bowl. It kind of fits. Anyway, let's go start our grand tour of Ternate. There are essentially 3 places that I want to visit on this island. All 3 of them indicating the phases that this island went through when the European powers arrived. Because it wasn't the same deal for the local Ternatans when the Portuguese or the Spanish arrived in comparison to when the Dutch arrived. So look at this, man. I think there is a flipping stadium on our way. Are you seeing this, man? Let's see if we can visit the thing. Other side? Thank you. Makasih. So we have to go to the other side to potentially get in. Look at the volcano, man. Looks absolutely spectacular. It's pretty much modernized, this place, but there is no entry. Malut United, first division, second division, second division. Yeah. Malut United, founded in 2023. Look at Malut United, man. I mean, there are teams that were founded the previous century and they don't have a stadium. Anyway, that was the football parenthesis in all of this. This series is not about football, although the Indonesian league is beginning on the 4th of September. I will make an effort. As you can see with this camera, I have a really, really long stick. So it's often possible to have vistas that your average human height cannot see. Yeah, I want to see the field actually.
Where do you come from?
I come from Greece.
Oh, actually, long time ago, I used to meet them from Greece.
Yeah.
Almost a sailor. Yeah,
The sailors. Were you a sailor?
No.
Yeah, we have a good navy. Thank you, sir. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.
Yeah, take good care.
So as you can imagine, the people who speak English are scarce. So that guy, for example, was godsend. Also, the lady at the hotel that I finally got a room, she also speaks English, so that's a very good thing. I can get some information about the to-dos of the place. Previously, before stopping at that hotel, I stopped at another two where, let's just say that me and the receptionist were looking deep in each other's eyes without understanding a single word. What a building, isn't it? Oh, look at this, Argentina.
Brazil, toma.
Brazil?
Hey, bro.
Hey, bro. How are you, bro? Bye-bye. Argentina. This is the second Argentinian flag that I see, by the way. There was also another building with a huge Argentina flag close to the airport. They do watch the World Cup here. Hey, Argentina, what's going on? Wait, Maluku. Holland? Oh my God. Let's have an interview with these people. No England. But Argentina?
No.
Why everybody with Argentina here?
Yeah.
But why? Messi? Because of Messi or?
Maradona.
Maradona, very good man. Very good, Maradona. Diego? No Holland.
Holland.
No.
Holland, siapa? Uli.
Holland VOC, no good.
No good.
No good VOC.
England? No.
No England. Liverpool. Only Liverpool. Español?
Española.
Bye bye. Hello, mister. How are you? All good? Sultan, Greece. Greece. You know Greece? Nobody knows of Greece, man. It's horrible.
Oh,
So look, Greece, my country, Greece.
Your country, please.
It's next to Italy.
Next to
Italy.
After Italy.
After Italy. But,
Mr. Ojek.
but this way. We have very good food
So
and very bad football. Good food, bad football. This, my team. This, we have to explain.
Oh, Greece Unani.
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 Very good. Unani.
Unani.
Unani is
I know.
the name of Greece in Indonesian.
Unani. In
Unani.
Indonesian, Unani.
Name
It's
of my
your
country.
national name.
We learned stuff, man. Thank you. Makasih. Bye, people. This my team, my football team.
Unani, Greece.
Yes.
I know.
Bye. I haven't seen any other European here, or American, or whatever. Everybody says hi and hello. And the people who want to offer you rides to go with a scooter, they push the horn, you know? And especially in the morning, it was, a symphony of honking. Some of the buildings are flipping spectacular. Is this area some sort of Chinatown? Well, everything's possible, right? I mean, the Dutch were moving peoples as workforce from country to country, kind of in an industrial scale, isn't it? Look at this. Cannons and everything. So this is the old fort built by the VOC. Let's get in and I'll tell you all about it. Look at this, man. Could this be the entry, man? So it's not so much that this fort is close to 400 years old. It's more what it represented. You see, the European powers that ended up in these here parts of the world, as we know by now, they came for trade, right? They came for the clove and the other spices. Each to their own. I mean, these islands were sort of famous for the clove. So the Spanish and the Portuguese were essentially the first to come here back in the 1500s. And they did have conflicts with the locals, but it was nowhere near the same curriculum as what the Dutch did. So the Portuguese and the Spanish mainly struck deals with the local sultans. This island here, Ternate, and the other island next door, Tidore, they were kind of hostile with each other, as it's usually the case. And the Portuguese, together with the Spanish, they took advantage of it. They supported each side in order to gain more access to trade. So look at the flipping Dutchman. They even have water protecting their fort. Now, when the VOC arrived, for the locals it was, okay, we have yet another group of these weirdos who want our spices and we get stuff from them. But this was not the case with the VOC, because the VOC did not represent a country. It represented a corporation with its sole interest being profit. It wasn't a deal between peoples. It was the good of the corporation. So what the Dutch managed to do was to completely take over these islands. It took some time, but they did it, you know? Look at the old cannons, man, from Amsterdam. Look at that. So this is the VOC's emblem, and this is the A from Amsterdam. So when the Dutch East India Company arrived in the beginning of the 17th century, they kind of created an illusion of alliance with the local Ternatans. The locals invited the Dutch to help them against the Spanish, who were gaining power in Tidore. They built this here fort, Fort Oranje, and they were viewed as a helpful shield against the Spanish. Now, the VOC kind of weaponized this reliance, and in exchange for military protection, they forced the Sultan of Ternate to sign all sorts of treaties, granting the VOC the absolute monopoly on clove. No bahasa.
Oh, no bahasa.
No bahasa. Zero bahasa.
Zero bahasa.
Yunani.
Yunani?
Yeah.
You from Yunani?
Yes. Thank you, sir. You realize that it's eerie. Just standing outside of this fort is an eerie experience, isn't it? Look at this. Bank Central Asia. So I am not completely sure if this fort was built by the Dutch. There is a chance that it's built by the Portuguese. I think on those plates it writes, it's definitely not Dutch. Could it be Portuguese, man? I mean, there is a Portuguese fort on this island, on a different location. In the middle of the inner yard is this huge compass. I mean, I have seen this also in places, for example, in little squares in the neighborhoods of Amsterdam. So this is definitely a Dutch intervention in the thing. These buildings, they look very, very new, you know? They don't look as old. So I had a look online, and these buildings are indeed much newer, and there are several reasons for this. First of all, this place is actually a volcano. I mean, I would guess that the mountain up there is indeed a volcano. So it suffers earthquakes. And a couple of these earthquakes did damage the interior of the fort, which means that the buildings had to be rebuilt. On top of that, many of them were indeed rebuilt in the 1800s, but also after Indonesia's independence. The whole fort is as you can see it, I mean, it's free to enter. It's like a big square, you know? So this is one aspect of the thing. And the second one, which makes it a lot more understandable, if you look at this building, for example, it looks like a building that the army would use, right? Or the police, or I don't know. And it's exactly that. So the fort was, for a period, used indeed by the local army forces or police forces. It has been so much reconstruction in this place that you wouldn't really recognize the old building, you know? You do recognize, however, the shape. So despite the lifting that they have had, I think it's pretty obvious what their original purpose was, right? Such a building, probably warehouse, right? For the spices and all. Check it out. Hello. This is very beautiful.
Yes.
This is your shop?
I am and my friend.
But you work here?
Yes.
Work?
Yes.
It's not your shop?
Government.
Government shop, okay. It's very beautiful. We had this in my village, in Yunnan village, my village. We had this.
The same.
The same, yeah. In you know Yunani, Greece?
Yes.
Yeah.
Athena.
Athena, bravo, well done. My grandmother used to do stuff with this kind of equipment. So look at what these women are doing, man. Very beautiful.
Motif. Wati.
Yeah.
Colonial from Ternate.
Yeah,
Wati.
yeah.
And then Clove.
The Clove, eh?
Yes.
This is why everything happened, eh? The Clove, man. Yeah, look here, Clove too, eh?
Yes.
And you sell these?
Yes, sir.
Okay. How much is one of these? How much for one?
800.
800,000 rupee, eh? Okay. Really beautiful. Makasih.
Thank you. Yes.
Thank you. I mean, the poor Clove. It has no fault in all of this, does it? I like it. I mean, they keep the place alive, you know? Even though its original purpose was not... Is that flipping Magellan? It could be, you know? The remains of the fleet of Magellan actually did reach these places here. This is closed, we cannot get in, but some of the posters and the things are visible from the windows. I find this place fascinating, so fascinating. And the reason I think like this is because I view them, for example, I view this gate from today's perspective, while at the same time I have the knowledge of the atrocities that happened simply in order to be able to build this thing, you know? They even have a small statue of a Clove up there. Totally chilling. Oh my God, kids. Look at the current Indonesian warriors sitting on the cannon. Later on in this series, we will talk about this massive group of people from the Moluccas, from here, that ended up in the Netherlands. Their story is also one of the saddest. Seeing that Clove on those garments, or on the entrance of the fort, to be fair, reminded me of the story of Grenada. Grenada is a small Caribbean island, and it was there where the Brits finally managed to take revenge from the flipping Dutch, and they broke their monopoly. They brought nutmeg cultivations to Grenada, and it was such a good idea that Grenada actually has the nutmeg on their flag. By the way, I should be extremely careful how I walk here, man. I mean, look at this. So that's okay. That's protected. And then you walk, and suddenly you bump into this. So a second of not looking or talking to the camera as I do, and yeah, troubles have found you. Hi, mister! Why on earth are so many death traps here, man? I mean, look at this! And on top of that, how do we get to visit the palace? I cannot believe that I'm seeing the palace of the Sultan of Ternate with the Indonesian flag, and right next to it, the flags of the two teams that will play in the World Cup final. I cannot believe I'm seeing this one. In Ternate, of all places, in Maluku. Look at us, we are in the building itself. Looks absolutely majestic, doesn't it? Surely there is no Sultan anymore, right? You can see the sea. What a view, man. Whoa. You can see the ocean. Under normal circumstances, this place would be closed. They opened the gate over there for some sort of catering or something. Anyway, I'm happy to have seen this. Although it does say museum down there. Let's have a look. Maybe we can go there. This museum? Museum? Here? I'm not entirely sure what's going on here, man. I mean, this doesn't look like a museum at all. I don't understand anything from this place, man. It should be operating as a museum or something. Somehow to be able to visit it. Not only for tourists, I mean, also for the locals, you know, to keep in touch with their history and all. Now we need to find a scooter because the next destination is literally on the other side of town. Benteng Calamata. This is Calamata Fort. It has a very Greek name. And it was built by the Portuguese in 1540, probably by this guy, Antonio Galvao. And this is a bus also probably from that day and age. To be honest, what inspired me to come here was the Greekness of its name. I think this is also a fort that when the Dutch finally established their power, they took over it, you know? That guy has a rooster inside that bag. 2 roosters, flipping hell. I'm not entirely sure what he's doing. So the general rule is that the Spanish or the Portuguese would build some of these forts, and then years later the Dutch would take them over. The purpose of this fort was, first of all, to mind the Portuguese business here, and second of all, to support the local Sultan in his hostile activities against Tidore, is the neighboring island, which back in the day used to be kind of hostile with this one. And this fort was also meant to, you know, to surveil the whole sea area between them. Now for the Dutch used this fort to police any kind of potential spice smuggling. That's one. Because, you know, they didn't want to lose the monopoly. Also, the Dutch had an incredible policy of extirpation, I think it's called, taking down all kinds of spice plantations that were not in the area of their direct control, which means that they could use their areas to control the monopoly. That was a brutal policy, man. I mean, that harmed in so many ways all other populations here in the islands simply because they were not under the direct control of the VOC. It's I don't know what to say about this. The local airport is called Babula airport, and it takes its name from the son of a local sultan who was murdered. The sultan was murdered, not his son, by the Portuguese during peace talks, mind you. So it's not that the Portuguese or the Spanish were, the innocents in this whole story, and the VOC were the bad ones. The VOC were atrocious, but also the Portuguese and the Spanish did some stuff that humanity wouldn't be proud of. Anyway, this Babula guy, he organized a rebellion against the Portuguese, and this is the reason why he's so beloved. And the airport is named after him. So let's see, what do we have here? Pirate bus, St. George flag, proudly waving in the wind. By the way, I finally understood what's going on with all these flags. So it's not that Ternate is full-hearted fan Argentina, go Argentina, vamos Argentina. It's not that. It's more that there is this small commerce here in the town. There are so many kiosks and little shops that sell flags, shirts, whatever, of the teams of the World Cup. So everybody in this here city has chosen a side. And it's incredible how you see them waving the flag on the terraces of their houses. It's quite a unique spectacle to see. But honestly now, does any one of you know what this guy was doing with those chickens? Such a weird behavior, man. I mean, we had chickens when I was a kid in the village in Crete. Nobody was throwing them in the sea.
Hello, mister. Hi.
What's funny is that both men and women are socializing with us with these two words, hello and mister. And we are back where we started this beautiful day of ours, man. I have been thoroughly enjoying it. It's amazing how the Indonesians are, man. It's a constant attack of friendliness. Well done. This kid wants to be protagonist in our movie, man.
Hello.
So what's your name?
What's your name? Randy.
Randy. And you?
Lucas.
He's laughing all the way. Nice to meet you guys. Nice to meet you, man. Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye-bye.
Okay, so I will leave you for today and we'll be coming back tomorrow. Tomorrow we go to the island next door, the former enemy, Tidore, and see what kind of forts they have over there. Bye-bye for now. The thing with the flags is so mesmerizing, man. I mean, look at this. So this guy behind me, man, it's amazing how much gas from the turbine engine exhaust pipe he's breathing. So look, you can actually see Ternate from here, it's there. And look at the city, man, it's pretty spread.
That might be enough for England. They want to hear the final whistle, but on we go.
And those were the 3 seconds that yours truly has watched something concerning the World Cup. What a filth, man. So as you can see, the general vibe here is much more relaxed than the one of Ternate. So for me, the whole World Cup thing is so funny and sad in some ways. This is my humble opinion, by the way. But I recognize for myself that the whole thing has nothing to do with football, man. For my generation, I got accustomed to the World Cup getting worse and worse, you know? Not in terms of football, but in terms of all the other subplotting that's going on. I wasn't born in 1978, for example. I only hear stories about the way the Dutch national team was treated in Buenos Aires. And I definitely wasn't born to see how the fascist Italy handled the World Cup. at least I am alive and can have feelings and thoughts on this World Cup. And I did think that the one in Qatar was a disgrace, but the one in Qatar is nothing compared to this one, man. Anyway, these are just thoughts. All right, people, so this is the part of Tidore that I wanted to visit. And it is this little bay, I mean, it's not even a bay, where Magellan's fleet ended up back in 1521. And it is quite a spectacle, isn't it? Now let's see, what are those walls? Is this something from those times or what could it be? I read that there was actually nothing here from those times. It doesn't look new, but who can ever know? There is a massive tree in the middle of the thing and a plate. Let's go read. Boy, this plate is extremely difficult to read. But it says that it's in memory of Juan Sebastián de Elcano and the crews of the ships Trinidad and Victoria, who landed on this island of Tidore on November the 8th, 1521, and set out its course for Spain on December the 18th to accomplish the first circumnavigation of the globe, the Embassy of Spain. Right. My only comment on this is, how on earth did Portugal manage to miss out on both Magellan and Columbus? I mean, it's kind of crazy. Hello, sir. So my guy here is wearing a Liverpool shirt. Liverpool, eh? Big team.
Liverpool.
Liverpool.
Ya, ganti. Udah ganti.
Yeah.
Sendiri.
Yeah. It's obviously a fake thing, but it's lovely because it has a memorial fire for the 97. It's interesting. Boy, look at this. We have reached the Spanish fort of the Argentine city of Tahula, of the Moluccan city of Tahula. There are flags everywhere, man. The support of these people for Argentina is the stuff of surrealism. And now I have to climb these stairs, which I don't know if you can see them. I mean, look at these stairs, man. They are literally 90 degrees. They are even worse than the stairs in the Dutch houses. How do we enter the Spanish fort? Shall we do it like the Dutch? There are some forts out there that the Dutch took over this way, by placing a ladder. Is this the proper way to get in the fort? All right. So here's us climbing the castle. Is this the way?
No, another.
Another way?
Yes.
Shall we do it like the Dutch?
Go back.
Go back? Let's have a chat with these people. They speak English, which is a very good thing. It's so nice that you speak English. So nice. Ah, look at this. Yeah. You can actually read stuff here, finally. I wanted to do it like the VOC. The VOC were scaling these forts. They put in ladders at night when everybody was asleep. And
So you climbed up the ladder. I said, you've got a camera. I said, you're taking a photo of
no, I was trying to do it like the VOC. There is a normal entrance.
that way. You said.
No, another way. To the left side.
So I go like that.
Not down.
Yeah. Lovely. Thank you very much. Let's read this first. It was constructed 1610 to 1615 here in the Tahula, and it was literally like we said the other day. It was the Spanish were invited by the Sultan de Tidore. Oh. So this is essentially the same ladder, but with a little bit more safety. What's going on, man? That's it? Is this the whole thing? That was a bit underwhelming, wasn't it? So the other ladder should have been somewhere here, I guess. Yeah, it's down there. The other ladder is leading also to a sort of dead-end thingy. But just look at the massive view, man. Look at the tropical forest and the flipping mountain back there. So I had a look online. This fort, after being built by the Spanish following the invite of the local Sultan, it actually worked as a viewpoint and stronghold that surveilled the whole clove trade industry. Now, at some point in the mid-1600s, the Spanish were forced to abandon these territories in order to consolidate their position in the Philippines. It was then that the Dutch East Indies Company, the VOC, entered these islands and they ordered for it to be destroyed. However, the local Sultan saved it. And a couple of centuries later, another local Sultan who was actively fighting against the Dutch colonial power, he actually used it as a stronghold. He put cannons, armory, you know, the whole deal. So yeah, this is the story of this fort. Kind of underwhelming, if I'm perfectly honest, of Tidore and the city of Tahula in front of us. I will not go to Tahula. I had enough of little island cities. I mean, we have seen one, we've seen them all, I guess. Now I'm going to wait for the next bus to take me back to the port. And we are back to Ternate. Don't worry, that was not the boat. Ternate and Tidore, especially Ternate, were the two places that the VOC established their dominance. The place where this dominance showed its worst face, however, is not here. It is the one we will be going next. And let me tell you, man, it wasn't a certainty until sort of today. You see, the incredible bad luck for the planet to have us as its most populous inhabitants is actually great news for me, because it seems that the monsoon is not so heavy in our next destination. I tell you what, that food was spicy as hell. All right, people, so this is probably the best thing that you can drink in this here land. So it is very often incredible how we can reframe, you know, our shots. Let me show you what I'm currently looking at. So this is what I'm looking at, and this is what is below me. Bloody hell, man, poor fish. Anyway, what I wanted to say before we say our goodbyes, I find it amazing that there is absolutely no other tourist here. I mean, I haven't seen anyone. The only Westerner I have seen was this woman at the castle in Tidore. Because for this area here, for North Maluku, it's also dry season, you know? It has a sort of originality, this thing, not seeing Westerners. So that was it from Ternate and Tidore. I will be seeing you in the next episode of this VOC uninspired adventure. See you in the next one. Bye-bye.